In my sophomore year at Tufts University, I constantly listened to On Point. On Point is an NPR show that zooms in on a different current events issue in every episode. Over the many On Point episodes that I listened to, a common theme emerged. And that was the theme that government failures at the state, national, and local level disproportionately harm low-income communities and minority demographic groups. One On Point episode about the water crisis that not only affected Flint, Michigan, but also affected thousands of other communities across the United States stood out to me as a particularly telling example of how government shortcomings break down across lines of socioeconomic status and race. A 2016 Reuters study found that over 3,000 counties in the United States experienced levels of lead contamination in the water higher than those in Flint, Michigan. These communities were disproportionately small, rural, and poor. A majority of them served large Hispanic and Black populations. This story, and stories that showed a similar theme that I listened to in my sophomore year, created a desire to work for an organization that was responding to systemic poverty with concrete action. In the summer after my sophomore year, I worked at the Jameel Poverty Action Lab at MIT, a coalition of researchers and policy analysts using randomized evaluations to test the effectiveness of social programs designed to alleviate poverty. During my internship, I undertook a 3-part research project on deep poverty in the United States that focused on answering 3 questions. Who are the poorest of the poor? What are the greatest barriers to mobility from deep poverty? And what existing research do we have on programs that target the poorest of the poor? And where is more research needed? I compiled my findings into a 54-page research analysis and presented them to associates of the Jameel Poverty Action Lab, JPAL, to help inform their future work on deep poverty alleviation. Learning about effective policies while working at the Jameel Poverty Action Lab cemented my desire to actually advocate for them. So in the following summer of 2018, I worked as a Harvard Democracy Fellow at Public Citizens Congress Watch in Washington, D.C. As an advocacy intern, I helped policy experts in Public Citizens Congress Watch branch advocate for legislative proposals that protected consumers' interests, that represented the needs of the voters they were intended to represent, and that were designed to make government more transparent and accountable. Designing and publishing a social media video, writing blog posts for Public Citizen's official page, and helping policy experts research developments to legislative agendas gave me useful skills in advocacy, outreach, and communication. When I returned to my hometown of Boston, Massachusetts to begin my senior fall at Tufts University, I saw an opportunity to put the skills I had learned at JPAL and Public Citizen and my Spanish-speaking ability to work serving communities in Boston. Interning at Inquilinos Boricua en Acción this semester has exposed me to the vibrant Puerto Rican community that fought for and ultimately won the rights to develop the affordable housing neighborhood of Villa Victoria. Working at IBA has cemented my desire to continue serving Boston communities like that of Villa Victoria, and I would be thrilled to have the opportunity to do so through the Lead for America Fellowship.